Shalom Akim, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the parable of the bags of gold. Whether we all comprehend this or not, but when you come into this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the truth, we all have been issued a measure, a talent, a portion, which is likened unto gold and or spiritual money. And Yahushua, being the businessman that he is, upon his return, he's expecting a return on the investment that he's given unto us. We all have to consider and keep in mind that we are dealing with another man's money. And we all know how these simple jakes are in the world about their money. So how much more so the Lord of Lords and Kings of Kings? But how do we know for sure? Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 through 30, and it reads, Again, it will be like a man going on a journey. And who is this man? It's Yahushua. What journey has he went on? He's went back to the heavens, and he's seated at the right hand of the Father. But what did he do before he left? Who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them? To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, and to another 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went off on his journey. Let me stop right there and grab 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7 through 11, because this is what the Lord has given us to further his ministry, all right? To further his enterprise, his business. In 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 7 through 11, it tells us this, but the manifestation of the Spirit is given to each one for the profit of all. By all it means all of the elect. Verse 8, for to one is given the word of wisdom through the Spirit, to another the word of knowledge through the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another gifts of healing by the same Spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discernment of spirits, to another different kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. But to one and the same Spirit works all things, distributing to each one individually as he wills. You see what the Lord gave us? Let's come out of this very quickly and let's pick up where we left off in verse 16. The man who received 5 bags of gold went at once and put his money to work and gained 5 more bags. Also, to the one with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. And how do we deal? How do we flip the Lord's money that he given unto us? Well, Luke chapter 14, verse 23 tells us, Then the master told his servants, Go out into the roads in the country lane and compel them to come in, so that my house may be full. Let me read it again in the King James Version. And the Lord said unto his servants, Go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be full. You know, brothers have put their hand to the plow. You know, they're learning, growing, developing, they're striving for the masteries. This is how you flip that portion, whatever the Lord gave you, to further his enterprise, to further his business. All right? Verse 18, but the man who received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. Remember, in the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 11, it tells us to be not slothful in business, okay? But fervent in spirit, serving the Lord, okay? The Lord is known as an austere businessman, okay? Let me come out of this. Not an austere businessman, but he's known to be austere. He's serious. Verse 19, after a long time, the master of the servants returned and settled accounts with them, right? You have to couple that with what was written in Revelation, the 22nd chapter and the 12th verse. It reads, Behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to his work shall be. Let me grab the word workman very quickly, right? The definition, rather.
Workman.
A workman, a man employed to do manual labor. The earth is the Lord's vineyard, all right? And we are his workmen. We are the men he has entrusted with these gifts, with these talents, these measures of gold, which are spiritual gifts, all right? Verse 19, after a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold brought The other 5, Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. This is what we want to hear Yahushua say. Well done. Reading on. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge over many things. Come and share in your master's happiness. The man with 2 bags of gold also came. Master, he said, you have entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share in your master's happiness. You have to consider the scriptures tells us, eyes haven't seen, ears haven't heard, all that the things that Yahushua has to reveal to those that love him. We can imagine what we're going to get repaid, right? But we have to remain diligent over the portion, over the talent, that the measure, Salakia, that the Lord has given us, and not hide it. Verse 24, it tells us this. The man who had received 1 bag of gold, Master, he said, I knew that you are a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown, and gathered where you have not scattered. So I was afraid, and went and hid your gold in the ground. See that you, Salakia, see, here is what belongs to you. His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. Remember, Romans just told us to be fervent, be not slothful. This is the Lord's business here. When he comes, he's expecting a return on his investment. It doesn't matter what portion he gave me, you, the next man. We have to be diligent over what he gave us. Remember, the scriptures tell us to strive for the masteries. All right? Again, verse 26. His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. So you knew I had harvested where I have not sown, and gathered where I have not scattered seed. Well then, you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers, so that when I return, I would have received it back with interest. Remember, the scriptures refer to this as our labor of love. Verse 28. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one who has 10 bags. For whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what he has will be taken from them. And throw that worthless servant into outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And that's referring to America, aka Babylon the Great, when it's hit with those nuclear missiles. Many are going to be weeping. They're going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Let me come out of this here. Let me grab a few more precepts here, right? Because in the book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 10, it tells us, but the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and your labor of love, right? You got to love to do this thing. Find joy in doing so. Remember, we're working for the master of the universe, Lord of Lords and King of Kings, reading on, which ye have shown toward his name, called Halal Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, in that ye have ministered to his saints. And who are the saints? The children of Israel, and do minister. Let me come out of this very quick. Let me get one more precept here, right? This is why in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15, it tells us, study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman. Remember, a workman is a man hired to do laborious work, right? In the Lord's vineyard, which is the earth, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. We have to keep in mind that we're dealing with the King of Kings and Lord of Lords money, and he's expecting a return on his investment. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep the faith. Shalom.